after working for such a long time on Beware of Walking Corpses, I decided it was kind of, I wanted to take a little break, work on a small project. So I worked in this little game, Dot Descend, which you can download. Link is in the description. And, I just wanted to make a small, simple game and, do some things I never really did before. So I can, gain some new knowledge. And since it was just a small game, I could take more risks. So, I did take a few more risks with this one. And it did definitely help knowledge wise. So, as you can see here, I'm just developing the environment, background, the basic dot. Yeah, funny thing, this was actually not originally meant to be made in 2 hours. I didn't think it would take 2 hours, but it only took 2 hours. I thought it would take more. So this wasn't like I set a timer for 2 hours and try to make a game. Like this was like I was making a game and then I finished it in 2 hours. So yeah, it's a little different than what you normally see with these kinds of things, but yeah. So as you can see here, that's how I did the randomized generation. As you can see here, where I just have certain points where the red dots will spawn, and right now they're just kind of chaotic and cathartic, and they're landing everywhere and they're bouncing off each other. It's just going crazy. And of course, as you can see here, here's the code for how it spawns. And this really did help me, and I think I might use this knowledge for Beware of Walking Corpses because I did want to create a endless mode where there's like endless zombies coming at you. And yeah, and I was struggling with that, as you'll see when I make my next devlog for that. You'll see in that one that I was definitely struggling with that. But as you can see here, it's the randomized generation is working. It's a little cathartic and chaotic, but I later fixed that. And yeah, so pretty much that's just the basic code. And of course, I added a few more so that way they would drop a little more. And now, as you can see here, when you touch the dot, it doesn't actually do anything. I also removed it as a physics body so it could just pass through the invisible wall that I set up for the player to stand on instead of, landing on it. Because otherwise, what would happen is you keep touching it and then, like, you keep getting the game over screen. So, of course, here, as you can see with the code for the, you know, little dot. So as you can see, I set a game over screen where you can restart or go back to menu. I haven't created a menu yet at this point. But yeah, it was, just a nice little thing. So now you actually have to avoid the dots. You press it, it restarts. Very basic system. Then, of course, what I did, so this is the code for it. So basically, when the player overlaps the red dot, what happens is that it sets the game to paused and it adds the widget for the game over screen to the viewport. And of course, as you can also see here, here's all the little buttons and stuff that go into it. And here's the actual thing I did where because I wanted this to be a little different with movement as well. And since it was simple movement, I wanted to practice, like clicking to move. So when you click the left side of the screen, you move left, and you click the right side of the screen, you move right. As you can see, all the code for that here. And yeah, so as you can see, if I click the right side of the screen, my character moves right. If I click the left, he moves left. And yeah, so you can move now by clicking. I mean, are people really going to use it? Probably not, because you can still use A and D. But I mean, if you like the clicking more, if that's your preference, you can click to move. I mean, it's more of a gimmick than anything, but it's something. It was something different. I learned something from it. And of course, as you can see here, all the little code where it basically affects the bis is moving right variable. And of course, here is the little screen. Originally, I was going to have a mobile version of the game, but I was having a bunch of issues with trying to export an Android version. Google Play, all that, it was a whole chaotic mess. So I just scrapped the whole idea of making a mobile version of the game. And I just kind of kept it as a, simple PC little game. And of course, you could see the game over screen. This was all the code that went into it. Same code I use for respawning where it gets the level you're on and just reopens it. And of course with the quit to menu thing. So now if I touch a dot, so as you can see here, when I click back to menu, I go back to the menu. So yeah, right now I didn't add a quit game thing. So as you'll see, I'm about to add soon, somewhat soon. Yeah, here we go. So this is where I'm adding the little quit game thing. I just copied the play game thing and I just replaced the code with quit game. It wasn't that hard. Literally, like in Unreal Engine, you could just literally type quit game as a thing you could just do in Blueprint. It's super easy. So yeah, basically, so that's kind of what I was just pulling off here, where I just copied pasted the button. Super simple stuff. Not that hard. Just swap out the text, change it from open level to quit game. It wasn't much. So yeah, as you can see here. Also, as you can see, the loading screen was actually, I messed that up at first, where I called it dot dodge instead of dot descend, which is the actual name of the game. I have no clue where dot dodge came from, probably because I saw the thing moving and I was like, yeah, it's totally called dot dodge. It's not dot dodge. I later changed that, but yeah. So there you go. And now as you can see here, play game, quick game closes the game. Super simple stuff, because you always need a quit game thing just in case the person wants to leave. I also made a soundtrack for the game. It's very similar to Aspiration to Climb soundtrack with the whole mallets thing going on. I also added this nice little pause button on the little menu screen. So of course, as you can see here, a little code for it. Pause, you know, adds it to the viewport, all that good stuff. So now, of course, when you press it, pauses the game. You could restart. You could go back to menu. You could resume. Of course, it was a little off center, so I did have to go back and actually change it so it's anchored to the bottom center of the screen. So as you can see here, I'm changing the anchor for it. So now it's on the bottom of the screen and not just all over the place. Because, people are going to have different screen sizes, so you do need to always anchor it. And as you can see here, yeah, it's super simple stuff. And now we have a nice pause menu. Of course, because originally I was going to create it for mobile, so I wanted it to be wider so you could touch it. But, I mean, you could play this on your phone technically. I mean, but if you could upload a Windows file to your phone, I don't know, if you have a Windows phone, you could probably work it on your phone. But, yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone who has a Windows phone, but yeah, basically. And of course, as you're about to see here, this is where I realized my huge mistake with the name, and I changed it from dot dodge to dot descend. And yeah, so just a simple, quick fix right there. So now the name is actually correct. I later, once I realized that, yeah, making a mobile one is way too complicated, I just left it as a PC game. So as you can see here, this is the mostly final product. Only difference is I changed the menu a bit. And yeah, and then basically this is the final product. I hope you enjoy. If you like this video, well, like and subscribe. You see more content like this. And yeah, I will see you next time.